Clans of Caledonia Industria is the first expansion to the game Clans of Caledonia. The base game is required to play with Industria. You can watch the No BS guide for the base game here. Set in a time of rapid industrialization and economic transformation, players navigate the complexities of industrial growth, leveraging new railway technologies to boost production and expand their influence. Historical clans must adapt to the changing landscape, seizing opportunities to industrialize their operations while continuing to produce and trade traditional agricultural goods in 19th century Scotland. Games are for 2 to 4 players, and there's also a solo automa, which you can read about in its separate rulebook. Industria comes with some new clans, starting tiles, port bonus tiles, scoring tiles, and 20-pound coins, along with some extra goods tokens and goods tiles. They can be identified via this watermark. The rules for setup and gameplay for these additional components remain the same, so add them to the base game and use them like normal. See the appendix to learn more about these additional components. All the new modules and tiles are independently compatible with the base game, so pick and choose your favorites or play with them all. For the purposes of this video, we will explain each of the new modules one at a time. Module 1. New Map Modules. There are now 4 additional map modules marked A through D, 3 and 4. When setting up, include these in your random selection of map modules. Also, take note of the new waterfall space on these maps. They have rivers originating from mountains. The spaces on either side of the river are adjacent, but not neighboring, meaning your pieces on either side of the river are 2 separate settlements. If you deploy a unit onto the mountain, however, you'll connect these 2 separate settlements into one big settlement. Module 2. Export Contract Refill Board. Ever wished you could know which export contracts are coming next? Now you can with the Export Contract Refill Board. During setup, place it next to the export board and fill each spot with a face-up export contract. During the preparation phase, fill the export board using tiles from the Export Contracts Refill Board from left to right. Every time the export contracts are taken from the Export Contract Refill Board, slide the remaining tiles to the left and refill any empty boxes. With this module, when you take the building bonus, you will know ahead of time what those 3 tiles will be. Remove these 3 tiles from the Export Contract Refill Board and keep 1, discard the rest, and refill the Export Contract Refill Board. Module 3. Award Tiles. Award tiles offer an additional way to gain victory points during final scoring. During setup, randomly choose 1 and place it below the 5th scoring tile. At the end of the game, the player who best meets the criteria gains 12 victory points, and second place gets 6. In a 2-player game, they'll gain 8 and 0 victory points respectively. Module 4. Farmers Markets. There are 2 steps to setting up this module. 1. When using the Farmers Markets module, you must place the passing bonus overlay tile onto the export board, completely covering the default passing bonus. This effectively reduces the passing bonuses by 4 pounds. 2. Before drafting clans, randomly deal 1 farmers market to each player. In reverse turn order, players will place their farmers markets onto the game map. It must be placed on a land space with at least 3 other neighboring land spaces, and there must be at least 2 spaces between it and any other player's farmers market. On your turn during the action phase, after paying the land and unit cost to expand to a space neighboring a farmer's market, you may immediately sell up to 4 goods of a single type as depicted on the farmer's market tile to gain the market value plus 2 pounds for each basic good sold, or market value plus 3 pounds for every processed goods sold as depicted here on the back of the farmer's market tile. Place your merchants and move the price marker as normal, then use one of these sold goods to cover up the corresponding icon on the farmer's market tile. Once both icons are covered, the farmer's market tile is returned to the game box, and the goods discarded. You may never expand onto a space containing a farmer's market, but once it's removed, players may expand onto the newly opened space like normal. Industria introduces several effects that allow you to move a unit on the game map from one space to another. The terrain of the new space must match the required terrain of the unit being moved, and since workers are considered the same type, they can be moved to any forest or mountain location, or lock in the case of Clan McDonald, regardless of which terrain they originated from. Note that this doesn't change your income on your player board. If moving across a river, you must have the respective shipping level. When moving, you do not pay the land cost for this new space, but you also do not trigger a neighboring bonus, building bonus, or farmer's market. In the action phase, whenever you deploy a unit from your player board, that unit may trigger a neighboring bonus, building bonus, or farmer's market. Note that this means port tile 7 has been errated and will now trigger a neighboring bonus. Sometimes you will trigger multiple bonuses on the same turn. These can be used in whichever order you please, but you must fully complete your expand action first. If any special bonuses occur, such as Clan Sinclair's bonus upgrade, you must use or forfeit these bonuses before gaining the neighboring bonus, building bonus, or farmer's market. Module 5. The Train Module. During setup, before drafting clans, place the train map on the table, ensuring the correct side is face up according to the number of players. This map depicts 2 cities, 10 towns, and 2 tunnels. Shuffle the delivery bonus tiles and randomly place 1 in each city and town. Shuffle the milestone tiles and randomly place 1 in each city and tunnel. Then shuffle the demand tiles and place them in a face-down stack next to the demand tile refill area. Draw and place 1 in each city, 1 between each pair of towns, and 1 per player on the demands tile refill area on the top left of the train map. Finally, each player places their 4 milestone markers and their train station on the delivery track. Also, during setup, when placing port tiles, note that tiles 16 and 17 have a different bonus depending on whether you're using the trains module or not. If you are using the trains module, cover the top half of the port bonus with a port overlay tile. During this game, only the revealed part of the port tile is available, and if you aren't using the trains module, cover the bottom half instead. After placing the first workers at the end of setup, in reverse turn order, each player now places their train on a town of their choice that doesn't contain another player's train. In a 2-player game only, each player will also have a mini train. During setup, in reverse turn order, players place either their big train or their mini train on a town, taking turns back and forth until all trains have been placed. No trains may be placed in the same town as another train. You're now set up and ready to play. The mini train is not used in a 3 or 4 player game. It should be left in the game box. New action: move your train. Once per round, you may use the train action to move your train 1 or 2 locations and deliver goods to that location. The goods required are depicted here on the demand tile at that location. You cannot end your movement in the same location from which you started, and you must be able to deliver goods to this new location, otherwise you may not move there. There can be multiple different colored trains in the same location, but every time you meet another player's train, either by moving through one or ending your movement on a location containing one, you must pay them £3. If you cannot afford to pay them, you may not move your train that way. After moving, lay your train on its side to indicate it has already been moved this round. Once you have paid the goods on a demand tile, immediately gain, or forfeit, the delivery bonus at this location. You can gain all, part, or none of it as you wish, but if it shows a cost, you have to pay the cost in order to gain any part of the bonus. Finally, take your leftmost milestone marker from the delivery track and place it in your stock. In a 2-player game only, when you take the move train action, you will move both your big train and your mini train. Only your big train may make deliveries. The mini train only serves as a hindrance to the other player, as they must pay you £3 every time they move through or end their movement on either one of your trains. Note that moving the mini train follows this payment rule as well, so you must pay the other player when you move either one of your trains through each of their trains. You may freely move through your own trains, however, though your trains cannot end their movements in the same location. New action: claim a milestone. Notice there are a few locked icons on the train map. At the beginning of the game, your train may not move through any of these tracks. Milestone markers in your stock are used to unlock cities and tunnels, and they grant you some victory points when you do so. Note that in order to place your milestone marker, you must satisfy the condition depicted on the milestone tile, and you must not already have a milestone marker there. Cities function just like a town, with the additional bonus of gaining 2 victory points whenever you deliver there. Tunnels connect 2 towns on opposite sides of the train map. Moving your train from one town through a tunnel to the connected town counts as just one of your 2 allotted moves. Additionally, after you complete your train action, you gain an additional action as depicted here on the tunnel. Note that in a 2-player game, only your big train may get this additional action. The mini train does not gain an additional action when moving through a tunnel. Train station. You'll notice there's a train station instead of a milestone marker on your 5th delivery slot. When you make your 5th delivery, instead remove your train station and immediately place it for free onto the game map in a space containing another player's unit. The train station counts as one of your units for all purposes, but because it doesn't come from your player board, it does not trigger a neighboring bonus nor the farmer's market. During the game, if the other player's unit is removed for any reason, your train station remains and that space is now considered to be yours only. You must follow these criteria when placing your train station with another player's unit. 1. It must be placed within your reach. And 2. There must not be any other train station on the same space or adjacent to the same space as your train station. In the unlikely event that no spaces on the board meet these placement conditions for your train station, discard your train station back to the game box. At the top of each round except round 1 during the preparation phase, discard all the demand tiles from the board that have been used. You'll know which ones have been used because they will all have a train laying next to them. Then, beginning with cities first and towns second, refill all the empty demand spots with demand tiles from the demand tile refill area from left to right. They are conveniently numbered so you'll know the order in which to refill them. Then slide any remaining tiles on the demand tile refill track to the left and refill any now empty spots. Finally, place all trains upright so they are ready to be used this new round. Train module additional scoring. At the end of the game, include these steps in scoring. You will gain the highest revealed number of victory points on your delivery track, victory points depicted under each of your placed milestones, and any victory points won from award tiles if you use the award tiles module. The player with the most points is the winner. And that's your no BS guide on how to play Clans of Caledonia Industria.